beautifuls and beloveds. I hope this finds you well. This is Noelle Rose Anderson Kale, and I'm just, I don't know what I'm just doing, surviving, I guess. I am the dance warrior, and I battle on more levels than I expected. I usually just do dance and help people with dancing, and I encourage people through life, but now I'm having to fight my own battles and stand up for my own civil rights and everything else. So, yeah. And why are we coming to you live from our vehicle? Because we can't live in our home. And I'm trying to be a good steward of our finances and not burn a whole bunch of money staying in hotels. It's kind of smart to do. Plus, every time we go to a hotel, we have people following us. And so, what's the point? We're doing the best we can. Alright, so I'm just going to continue on and doing my normally regular programming. I don't care where I'm at. Everyone else is doing the laid back, low-key look, so I thought, well, hell, I can do the same thing too, right? And in some cases, I look better. In some cases, I look worse. What the hell's the difference? It's not about vanity, people. Okay, so I have a lot to say about this. There was a man, and this is reported by Fox News, and no, we do not favor Fox News or any news channel. They're all good, they're all bad, you know what I'm saying? What difference does it make now? So this seems factual enough. Okay, so you know I'm legally blind, right? So can you see how big we have to enlarge this? So it's really nice to be able to do this, you know, little fingers like this. And I wish I could do that to newspapers and books. Just enlarge it. So I either memorize things or am so familiar with things because I've read them before that I can kind of just figure out what they say again, or we have to enlarge things, so this actually works pretty well for me. Okay, so it says, man accused of attacking NYC woman 92, the precious little thing, was released with tickets in the past with 3 arrests. So this is pretty blatant, and what it is a video of a man either punching or pushing, and I'm not too sure. And he pushes her. Ah! Oh my god, this is so flippin' horrible. And here, did you see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, right? It's horrible. And it's a 31-year-old versus a 92-year-old. First of all, that's cowardice. You know, if you're going to try to hurt somebody, you shouldn't hurt anybody at all. But obviously when you're attacking somebody who you would consider defenseless, I may be the only 92-year-old woman around when the time comes that'll kick this guy or guy like this, his ass, inside and out. Even if I get pushed down, I'd be like on him like an ant on a cookie, and I'll beat the shit out of them. You don't take a punch at somebody who cannot defend themselves, and you assume that a nice little old lady who's pushing her little cart thing, or was it a walker? Hold on. I'm not sure now. It looks like it was some kind of cart thing. But that man has no right to do that. What a shameful, disgusting act. And this guy apparently has, like, rape, not convictions, but something. A lot going on with this man here. Let's see. Been arrested 103 times. This is not my research. This is a paper here. Including allegedly, sexually abusing a 13-year-old, but given a court date for his 3 most recent arrests instead, rather than be held in police custody until arraignment. What the hell is going on here? You know, they want to release criminals now. I don't know what classification of criminals they want to release from prisons because they're at risk for the coronavirus. Well, why don't you just put them in another section? And better yet, why don't you kind of find out why you have COVID outbreaks? And what really is COVID, people? Is it bio only? Is it biochemical? Is it chemical to make it look like it's biological? Remember the front, and then what's really going on here is here, COVID, but what's really going on is the chemical spraying. Really, when we went to Manhattan in 2016, was it?
I don't remember. It might have been.
Okay, I think it was 2016, and we saw somebody dressed up in military garb saying we were in the train station, underground. It was the Hoboken train that goes into Manhattan, I believe. And is that the one that goes through Journal Square? I think so. It wasn't the World Trade Center route one. I think it was just Hoboken. Okay. And we asked, what the heck's going on here? We saw all these people that looked kind of official. And they just freely told us, well, we're checking the air current for biochemical warfare, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's interesting. Anyway, that's just an aside. But why release these people from prison if they are going to be a repeat offender and a problem? That's just not once or twice or 3 times. This is several times. 103, didn't I read that? Excuse me, arrested 103 times. Rashid Brimage? I don't know. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. So I'm not okay with this, and this woman hit the fire hydrant. She just toppled right over. And the guy just, I don't know if it was a punch or just a push, but it was obviously not okay to do. This woman took it hard. And you know what? The guy looks away upon making, this is a still shot, and this is what it looks like to me. Again, my vision might not be 100% right, but it looks to me the guy is actually looking downcast and away after hitting. What a shameful, cowardly act. Nothing gives this man the right to do this. Nothing. They're saying this is a misdemeanor? No, I don't think this should be a misdemeanor. Considering the victim's age, considering the damage that was done, that shouldn't be a misdemeanor.
Agreed.
10 of Ramages, this is this guy who's done this. 65 unsealed arrests were for sex crimes. Largely forcible touching, sex abuse, public lewdness, a different police source said. 5 of those instances involved Ramage allegedly groping or touching his victims, one of whom was only 13 years old. Now, given in light of, we'll put this other video up, just conceal this person's identity. Hey, Fox News, why all of a sudden you're not allowing people to post on a lot of these important things, but you allow all this other crap? Granted, a lot of your posts, or your community's posts, I should say, contain our private conversations and excerpts of it, so that tells me most of your commenters are bots, and that's BS. But anyway, if you're doing it for that purpose, great, because I really don't want anything I say in private or even on my videos being regurgitated by whoever's regurgitating them for any reason. And, if you're doing it for that reason, then good. But if you're not doing it for that reason, then why not allow commentary for these things? But, whatever. I don't know the whole story. Just saying, yeah, this is bad. He was previously nabbed on, what? March 5th and February 17th and February 4th, each time for assault. So what is the problem where you guys don't understand this is going to be a repeat offender again and again and again? That's just very bad. That's very bad. The New York Post also commented on this on their Twitter feed, apparently. That's, you know, and then people are going around, and please don't misunderstand this. I have African blood in me too, and don't get on me that, oh, I don't look African or something like that. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't design my body. Talk to God about that. Or my parents, biological parents. And, you know, I just, I don't like racism. I don't like the fact that the stuff that's happening is happening. But it has to be done logically with critical thinking skills and tact. And what color is this guy's skin? Not that it matters, but I want to make a point.
Yeah, let me look.
His name is Rashid. I can guess he's probably brown.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. My vision is just... Some days it's clearer, which go and figure that out. I don't know. Some of it might be due to swelling. That's what I was told by one of my doctors, but we'll see. So, really, color to me, especially as time marches on, it doesn't mean anything. It's your heart, it's your actions, it's your words, it's all of that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. You've heard me. Oh my, boy, can I say some things. I get it. But the thing is, too, I can also be a loving human being. We all have that capacity. So why is this guy not acting in that proper capacity? You know, you can look at it and analyze and say, well, who raised him? What trauma did he go through? Or is he brainwashed and bought and paid for by the corporation to do these things? We consider everything anymore because we just don't know. And the more we see, the more we realize that something very strange is going on here. But why is this guy doing this to innocent people? I mean, I'd like to see him pick on somebody who would fight him, in a sense. He's reacting in a cowardly manner. Because when you target somebody who you think can't fight back, that is cowardice. When you see people prize fight, box, they don't put a purposely strong, muscular guy up against someone who's real puny. That's no fight, right? It's actually a good example. They have to be of equal mass, weight, and weight matters. You know, you have featherweight, what is it, welterweight, something like that, I don't know. It's not my thing. But it's matched fairly. And this was not a fair match at all. So this shows cowardice, not bravery. And it also shows criminality. Because not only did he get in her space, I can think of several counts there. It's not just, you know, how can I say, what did he actually... What is this? I don't know if this is a misdemeanor. Assault. Wouldn't it be battery too? How? I don't know what the legal lines are, especially in New York. But if anything, that's kind of interesting to pursue and talk about. So here we have people saying there's so much racial discrimination. Oh, that might be. But whites can be discriminated against too. And what I hate being called white because most of my ancestry is not white. It's very Mediterranean. It's very brown. I just happen, and it's so strange, but I just happen to have what they consider, is it recessive gene show up more? More recessive genes show up more in me. I'm sorry. I should apologize. I'm not going to apologize like that, but I mean it more like, I didn't make myself. Nobody made themselves. And nobody should have to pay the price for being whatever this decides to be. And people need to kind of like stop and knock it off. I'm just really, really not happy the way things are going in our world. I don't like it that police officers are murdering anybody who's innocent or anybody who didn't deserve that much. Like overkill in the treatment, even if they are doing something criminal. It shouldn't be happening. We've been discriminated against by the police. Look at some of our reels and tapes and things like that. Bad cops don't just choose people of certain skin color to go and do bad things to. They harass whoever they want. And I don't think it's just that they're exuding and exerting their power over the situation, although some might. I think some of them are, the bad actors hired by the corporation to just shut people up and cover up things, but allow other things to come forward as their propaganda statements. So, it's a problem. And I'm not going to be bullied by anybody and saying, people are saying Black Lives Matter, and some people say, well, so do all lives matter. Maybe both sides are right. Maybe that's why we can't have a meeting of the minds, because both sides are right. Anybody ever think of that? It's possible. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm going to say my opinions, and I'm not going to recant them and say, oh my gosh, I was so insensitive. I'm so sorry. Because the second you do that, you've already lost. You've already lost. And that's not what we're about in this country, or we shouldn't be about that. People need to be heard within the parameters of the law. And it doesn't matter who is speaking. It has to be the parameters of the law. If you don't like certain laws, work as hard as we are. Change them. Add them. But don't threaten people's lives. Don't threaten people's properties. Don't destroy things. We have a parameter in which we're allowed to do things, and hopefully it protects all sides. But here's the thing, what if there's corruption within those parameters? What happens if there's corruption within the process? And I refer to the they, or the head of the octopus, or the corporation. There is a name. There are entities, but I'm not obviously going to say it publicly until we actually have permission to do so. We have to think about these things. What if then that is an obstruction of justice for real? Like, how many times we have evidence of our justice being obstructed, people playing these games, and it's not legal to do. We've had our mail, which is a government protected way of communication, being thwarted, being opened, and all these horrible things being done through the U.S. postal system and or any of the other carriers. And we have evidence of this. So somebody's doing it, and it's not okay. And it started happening more and more once we came forward with this stuff. So it's not implausible why this stuff is happening. And even the greater sense of things, really, who could I, if people want to make such a racial thing about something, who could I aim my stuff at, and who's doing it? Well, let's really look at this. Most of my enemies are white rich people. Now, not all white rich people, and it doesn't mean that all rich people or all white people are bad. No, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's just that if I had to describe my enemies and somebody said, well, what do they look like? And some of them I do, unfortunately, know what they look like, and some I don't. But it seems most of them fit that, wouldn't you say? Fit that description.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let me also say that I have probably been treated better by black people or African American people. It depends. I don't know what to define them as, and I just wanted to define them as human beings. But, you know, the world doesn't let people do that, which is a shame. But it's true. Most. So, I mean, there's that. That's my experience. And, you know, I do have African heritage within my family. And I'm proud of it. And I'm not going to, like, try to hide it. The percentage is small because, you know, as you go through the generations, that just happens. That's just math and science. But that's something that, like I said, I'm like a human rainbow. And that's what I refer to myself as. And I should be proud of it. And I am proud of it because it's a myriad of cultures and everything. Now, here's something I don't like. Granted, the law says come into the country legally. So then do it. It makes no sense to not do it legally. You get more benefits that way. You get protection that way. And most people who don't have an agenda to destroy our country or our laws that protect everybody are cool about it. No matter what this reflects, okay? You know, the organs on the inside, do you know what they look like? They're the same no matter what this reveals, okay? Our blood coming in and out depending on if it's in or out. It's either going to be like a red color or a blue color. It's science. Really, do you understand what melanin is in the skin? It was initially used as our bodies needed to reflect where we originated from because of the intensity of the sun's rays. That's why certain people with different shading have more or less melanin in their skin. I wish I had more in my skin, not because of culture or anything else like that, because I don't like getting burned in the sun. I have a sensitivity to it. So, I mean, you know, I'm trying to be careful and yet at the same time not censor myself. Because the truth is we shouldn't have a racial divide. And I don't think it necessarily is a racial divide. I think it's being pushed upon people. But then again, because I have an open mind, that's not to say that it's not occurring. But I've had enough prejudice thrown at me because of my Jewish heritage. More than anything that's reflected here. Go and figure that out. That's a form of discrimination too. Shouldn't be happening. You know. And where is it coming from? And these people not even trying to get to know me as a person, but just automatically saying, she has Jewish heritage, so she's a dog. Where the hell did you get that from? And what's that exactly supposed to mean? No, actually, you don't even know where my Jewish heritage came from and why I have it. You know, really, let's just separate me from this whole thing for a second. Jesus was a Jew. So by right, all Christians are Jews by adoption, aren't they? Just saying. Anyway, that's always fun to discuss. That's another can of worms. But, you know, I'm just really done with all this racial divide and everything like that. Things have to be done and seen a certain way. And I'm seeing, too, based on their own words of some of these so-called professed self-leaders or self-professed leaders of certain movements, they're not even using critical thinking skills for their cause, and they're not very eloquent. And some of my words are echoes of some things that I even stand for and have said in my own videos. It's like, wait a second, where is this actually deriving from? And some of these people are quite beautiful. They are, whether they're man or woman. I use the word beautiful for man or woman. I'm totally over just use handsome for boys and beautiful for girls. Just stop already. Just beautiful just on appearance, you know. And I'm thinking, wow, are those even your own words? Were you paid to do this? Are you really doing what your heart wants to do? I question all of it. The thing is, if destruction is happening, your message is not going to be heard. People are going to paint you, whether it's right or wrong, a certain way because of the destruction. Just saying. My opinion. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. But it just... people are cringing when they see and hear. And I'm like, that's not quite the right way to do it. Things I say in private, and I hope they stayed in private, but, you know, some people were recording me against my will. You know, obviously I wouldn't have said these things to be consumed and regurgitated in public because it doesn't have the right weight and feel. The things I make public, I really think, okay, wait, before I make them public, is this what I really want to represent myself as? We all are different behind the scenes. We have to have the freedom to be able to use sounding boards to say, we say horrible, horrible things, maybe even to each other, and that's not right, but it's a form of sounding off, and you keep it private. That way, you don't really explode in public. That's healthy, okay? And our Constitution allows for that. But my rights were violated. Again, it wasn't based on this. It was just based on evil. Targeting me because, yes, even when I'm angry, I'm brilliant. Even when I'm being hurt, I'm brilliant. I don't know why this is. And, you know, I don't care if it comes across the wrong way. And here's why. I am done apologizing after all the harm that has been put upon me against my wanting to even sign up for this, okay? I never signed up for this. I'll get back to this woman. I had a point. Oh, you have it. Okay. This woman didn't sign up for it either. And I'm talking about this. Melanin, basically. It's nobody's fault. If that's even the right word, maybe not. What kind of a word would really work? I'm not sure. But nobody chose their parents. They were just born. And not they were just born, but that can't be held against somebody. And it shouldn't be. But somebody is doing it. My question is it really the public or is it corporate, meaning corporations and people being lifted up to certain jobs in our society to propagate stuff because they knew it would tear down our country and our world? I don't want to keep thinking that our world is just so evil that everybody is a racist on some level or something like that. No, I don't think so. But those behind certain movements may. And maybe they're not even the movements of current times. I might even be referring to back in the Civil War days. Here's the thing. There were slaves in the North and the South, treated differently. So really, was the Civil War about slavery? Or I think it was more about the South wanting to secede from the Union. Go look at your history books and go look at the law books and everything and check it out for yourself and you tell me what you think. But that's what I have gathered, that it was really about the secession from the Union. And of course, Abraham Lincoln gave the proclamation to free slaves. So from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the North